welcome. In today's video, I'm going to go ahead and do a comparison of the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. Very beautiful, just to give you a little idea of what we're doing there. And the new Ego Artemis palette. Has a very similar vibe, as you can see by the outside there. That is what we're going to review today, so stay tuned. Alright, so if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Please give this video a like, thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you turn on all notifications so that you're notified of all of my videos. I do upload my videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 a.m., so stay tuned for those. Otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and get started with our comparison. And I'm going to throw in a video here of the application of the two palettes, and I'd love for you to leave down below which side you think has which palette. So stay tuned. And just in case you were able to figure out which one was which, the left eye is going to be the Natasha Denona Metropolis. So there's that one, you can see there. And then the right eye is, of course, then Ego's Artemis palette. Make sure you can see the name there. You know I'm not cheating. There it is. You're gonna see in just a moment how they come out. So I've already done the rest of my face. I have used my favorite primer, the First Aid Beauty Coconut Smoothing Primer. I've also used the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Foundation, the newer one. I've got that in L50W. And then I have the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer under the eyes, and I have that one in Vanilla. That's a really good color match for me, so I have that with one of my favorite concealers, if you're wondering. And then I have my Natasha Denona Tan Bronze and Glow palette. I use that for the bronzer, and then I used actually the highlighter in it as well. That's what I'm wearing today. And then I used one of the e.l.f. Bite Size Face Duos in Spiced Apple for my blush. And then, oh, I also did use my Persona Cali Glow in Laguna on top of the Natasha Denona for a little extra glow, because you know I like to be a little glowy. Oh, and then my Nakia Joy, I used the Velvet Smooth Finishing Powder. Did use that as well. But the rest of my face is done, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with the eyes. So again, on the left side, we're going to use Natasha Denona's Metropolis, and I do have a ton of brushes here, so I promise they will all be different. All right, and I apologize, I do have to look down to do this, so if you see me look away, that's just what I'm doing. On these, unfortunately, they're not exactly in the same order, so I will just show you afterwards the shades I use, otherwise it's going to be too confusing trying to go back and forth. right, that's it for the eyes there. I'm gonna jump off here and go ahead and do my mascara and eyeliner and all that good stuff to finish up the eyes and show you the finished product. Stay tuned. So this is pretty much it, other than I'm gonna go ahead and put some lashes on, because I have been doing that lately. And then I'm going to give you my final thoughts, what I liked, didn't like, overall views. So stay tuned and be right back. The top is Natasha Denona, the bottom is Artemis, Alter Ego. As you can see, the shades are definitely very similar. Now, the only one I've had difficulty with is that green one, that kind of lime greenish color. I don't know what to call it, but grass green maybe? Like light grass? I don't know. Anyways, but that one I did have, as you see in this lower one, I did have trouble, see there? I did have trouble getting that, but the other one did come out really nice. I have to say, very, very similar. So you would not be disappointed if you went with the Alter Ego instead of Natasha Denona, and that's just off of a few swatches, but I just wanted to give you All right, so those are the two palettes. I hope that you enjoyed that. I'm curious to know if you got it right. So as you saw in the video, the left eye was the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette, which is right here. And again, I did show you before what it looks like, but just a quick look again at the palette. There it is. On this one, it does have this plastic insert here, and that is what all of the shadow names, they have numbers associated with them too, but that's that. I'm just gonna move that because that's annoying. So that is that palette. And then the Artemis palette, of course, was on the right side. And that is a look at that palette. Now, I don't know, from this distance you're probably not able to tell, but there is definitely a little bit of a difference between the two palettes. The Natasha Denona Metropolis, the colors are a little bit different. Some of them a little bit more bold, a little bit deeper, and some of the colors are very, very similar, so it was hard to decipher some of the shades. So I tried to get the ones that I thought were the closest, and those are the ones that I chose and did my looks on. I will show you in the Natasha Denona. Sorry, I did just stick my finger in this thing and made a big old mess, so don't mind that, you know. That's what we do here, you know, we just go with it. That's the palette. So what I did is, and this is really annoying having this thing. This one here called Rope is what I used as my transition shade all over the eyelid there. I did deepen it up with Pure here, did that to deepen it up a little bit, then ended up going with the Antique because it was a little bit darker. And then I ended up using this one called Penny all over my eyelid there. That's that nice kind of copper gold shade that you're seeing there, kind of all over the lid. You can see it there, hope you can see. So that was that main shadow there. And then I lightened up the corner a little bit with the shade here called Orium, is what's towards the inner corner of my eye, first 1/3, 1/4 of the eyelid there. And then in the very corner and on the brow bone, I used Queen, which is this color here. And then I did try to bring a little bit, since I'm kind of doing the green theme here, I don't know if you can see my shirt, but I got a little bit of like an army green going on. I did try to incorporate a little bit of green in here too, so I did go with, hang on, I keep putting my fingers in this thing, this sucks. In Troop. Okay, anyways, but I tried to use that on the outer corner as well to deepen it up a little bit. And this little flap here, they gotta do something better than this. This is freaking annoying, flipping this thing back and forth. I mean, like, really? Okay, anyways, but that's just my little pet peeve. Yeah, so those are the colors I used there on this one. And then the ones that I found that were pretty similar on the Alter Ego Artemis palette, you can see that there. I used Entice all over as transition shade. I had to find it. Oh, you know what I did forget to mention? I used Snare, this little bit of a burnt orange color. I did use that, and I'll show you here in the Natasha Denona, but I used a similar one on that one. And then, you know, tone down the orange a little bit, I went into Captive, and then that one was, again, a little too light, so I went down here to Lure to deepen up the outer corner. I used Camouflage all over the lid. That looked the most similar to the other one I used in Natasha Denona. And then I used Provoke, but I did find that this one was a little bit darker. It didn't lighten up the inner, you know, 1/4 of the eye as much as the other one did, 1/3, 1/4. So I did actually end up mixing this scent one underneath it here to give it a little bit more of a shine. So I did mix that in there, and then I used Obscure in the inner corner and Brow Bone Highlight. And then again, I tried to find the closest I could as far as army green type of color that I could find on this one. Closest I could find what seemed to be was this one called Prowl. I will also insert some swatches. There's just way too many colors in here to try to do swatches right now. Plus I'm already making a mess, and I don't really need to make any more of a mess. I've got this stuff all over me. So Gotta love it. But yeah, so my final thoughts on this palette. Natasha Denona does win. Overall, I think the metallics are slightly better in the Natasha Denona, but I do have to say Alter Ego, I have used a couple of their other palettes as well. And as far as a so-called dupe, I think Alter Ego does a really good job as far as duplicating higher end brands. If you are going to go for that dupe type of brand, I do recommend Alter Ego over C Color. Now there's a little bit more of a price difference depending on what you can afford and what you're looking for. But overall, I think Alter Ego, I think their whole aesthetic is just more pleasing, looks better. It's a more sturdy palette. It's just, you know, cardboard of course, but it's a very, very nice, solid, heavy duty palette. And I don't want to blind you there, but it does have a mirror there. And then I just think overall the quality is a little bit better with Alter Ego than I think in C Color. So I think if you're going to go for a less expensive alternative to higher end like Natasha Denona per se, I would recommend going with Alter Ego over C Color. But again, that's just my opinion. But again, you will spend a little bit more. I think C Color, their palettes usually range between like $8–10. Alter Ego, I think this one was $22. I'll put the prices down below, but it was a little bit more expensive. Might have been even a little bit more than that. But still, compared to the Natasha Denona, which this was $129, so still way more affordable. But again, if you're looking for something similar, I do highly recommend checking out Alter Ego. They do have some really great products. I also did want to just very quickly, one that I'm going to compare as well. I was just so excited because I know I've shown in other videos before that I really like the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette, which again is of course now discontinued. I think it's just beautiful. Love that palette, but I was so excited when I went on there to get the Artemis palette. I found that they had this Temptress palette, which is their duplicate. Sorry, this thing's hard cardboard there. But yeah, I mean, look at that. I'm so excited. I'm like, yeah, yay. So now I don't have to worry about the fact that this has been discontinued because I have another alternative. So I'm going to be testing it out as well because again, I love that sultry palette so much. So I'm going to do a quick review on that one eventually here too, but I just wanted to show you while you're on there, if you're looking for some other dupes, I would definitely check that out. If you like the sultry palette, it's called Temptress on Alter Ego's site. I would check that one out as well. All right guys, well that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you got a little bit of information there, helped you decide whether that's a good choice. Again, for the price, I don't think you can go wrong with the Alter Ego. Definitely quite a price difference from the Natasha Denona, and really considering price point and color story, the overall feel of the shadows, blendability, intensity, overall I think the quality is really good on Alter Ego, so I would definitely recommend them. Well, yeah, so I hope that was helpful. Well guys, I'm glad you stopped by here. Please give this video a like, thumbs up please. Please subscribe down below if you haven't already. Hit the all notifications bell. Make sure to turn on all notifications. And make sure you share this video too so that you give your friends and family some good advice on some good quality shadows. And until next time guys, stay healthy, stay safe. Remember to wash your hands, wear your mask, social distance. See you again in my next video. Bye! Stuff just falling everywhere. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, so I am going to do a view. And if what was I just gonna say?